flow of fentanyl. Senator Kennedy.
Dr. Farfan, the president of Mexico until 2024 was President Lopez Obrador. Is that right? And he ran for president with respect to the cartels on the slogan, hugs, not bullets. Is that right?
Well, no, he did not run on his campaign
Yes, he
with that
did.
slogan.
Yes, he did. Now, his hand-picked successor is President Steinbaum. Is that correct?
Sheinbaum.
Is that correct?
Gloria Sheinbaum.
Right. Am I right?
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Liberty Trigger. Today, oh boy, I just watched one of the most chaotic, fiery Senate hearings I've seen in a long, long time. And let me tell you, Senator John Kennedy showed up with the energy of a man who drank 3 cups of black coffee and said, you know what? Let's cause problems on purpose. So grab your popcorn, grab your freedom, and let's get into this. First off, Kennedy goes straight for the jugular. He asked the witness about Mexico's hugs not bullets policy, and the witness tries to politely say, well, Senator, that's not quite accurate. And Kennedy fires back like, yes, it is.
Okay. I love the people of Mexico, and the people of Mexico are good friends. But isn't a big part of the problem that President Lopez Obrador and now President Sheinbaum, thank you for correcting me, by the way, live in the right front pocket of the Mexican drug cartels?
I disagree with that statement.
I thought you might. You want more task forces. Dr. Westlake, this represents 400 grams of fentanyl. Kill every person in Providence, Rhode Island. If you're a dealer and you get caught with this, you get 10 years minimum. This represents 40 grams of fentanyl. Would kill every single man, woman, and child in Culpeper, Virginia. If you get caught with this amount, as a dealer, you get a 5-year minimum sentence. This is where it gets special. This represents 10 grams of PCP. If you get caught with it, as a dealer, you get 5 years minimum. Is fentanyl more dangerous than PCP?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. The fentanyl is classified, can be classified as a lethal weapon. I did a chart on it. And
this is 5 grams of meth. That's what this represents. If you're a dealer and you get caught with it, your minimum sentence is 5 years. Is fentanyl, you get caught with this much fentanyl, 5 years or 10 years. Get caught with this much fentanyl, 5 years. Get caught with this much meth, you can hardly see it, you get 5 years. Does that make any sense to you?
No, sir.
It's like cell deep stupid, isn't it? You don't need a task force to see the logic of that. I've got a bill, it's called the Fairness in Fentanyl Sentencing, I've reintroduced. This bill will lower the 5-year mandatory minimum for 40 grams of fentanyl to 2 grams of fentanyl. It'll lower the 10-year mandatory minimum from 400 grams of fentanyl to 20 grams of fentanyl. This bill won't punish addicts. It'll help. It's not going to help until President Lopez Obrador and President Scheinbaum get out of the pockets of the drug cartels. But it's a start. This bill will punish dealers. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Listen, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. When someone gets corrected and responds with, yes, it is, that's a level of confidence I aspire to. But seriously, he shows us these tiny baggies of fentanyl and explains how just a few grams can wipe out entire towns. Meanwhile, the minimum sentences don't match the danger at all. And he's right. We're out here treating fentanyl like it's a parking ticket. He's pushing a bill to toughen the sentencing. And honestly, good. Dealers aren't victims. They're killing people. If you're pushing poison, you deserve consequences. Simple. Then Senator Whitehouse jumps in, talking about taxpayer money, funding a transgender opera in Colombia. A what? I'm sorry, I need a moment. Listen, I'm not against the arts. But when the government is using my hard-earned tax money to fund opera in another country, I have questions, and not polite ones. At this point, we should just put the IRS on Patreon and call it a day. Then the conversation turns into banks allegedly shutting down accounts because they don't like people's political beliefs, especially conservatives. And let me tell you, nothing unites patriots more than seeing big banks act like the morality police. One witness says it's bank management pushing ideology. Another says it's the regulators pressuring them. I say, both can be true. If banks are deciding who deserves financial access based on politics, that's not banking. That's activism with an ATM. Next topic, social media and child exploitation. Even a witness admits social media has become a cesspool of snark, filth, and people whose parents clearly never said no. Kennedy literally says, social media has lowered the cost of being an a-hole. I nearly fell out of my chair. But he's right. These companies don't want to spend money looking for predators because it doesn't profit them. They want eyeballs, clicks, shares, not responsibility. And kids pay the price. If big tech can build algorithms to show me a blender I only thought about buying, they can build algorithms to protect children. Then things get spicy. Witnesses argue that anti-Semitism has risen since Trump. Kennedy pushes back hard, pointing out that universities preach diversity and inclusion, yet somehow hatred toward Jews is exploding on their campuses. And one witness straight up says campuses are pushing a Marxist worldview where everything is oppressed versus oppressor, and that ideology is fueling violence and hatred. Honestly, she's right. College campuses need fewer professional protesters and more people who actually read books. And then Kennedy reads some of this professor's tweets. My goodness. She tweeted stuff like, the majority of Americans hate women. The Supreme Court is promoting white male supremacy. Lady, at this point you're not testifying. You're doing open mic night at MSNBC. Kennedy basically asks, do you expect anyone to take you seriously? And she's like, yes. Bless her heart. This hearing had everything. Fentanyl policy, international opera, banks gone woke, big tech negligence, campus radicals, professors tweeting like teenagers. It was like America's problems got together and said, let's all show up today. But here's the good news. At least some senators like Kennedy still ask real questions and cut through the nonsense. Let me know what you think. Should fentanyl sentencing get tougher? Should banks be forced to stay neutral? And should taxpayers fund international gender-based operas? Spoiler, my vote is absolutely not. Make sure to subscribe, and stay tuned. Because in this country, the circus never ends, and I've got a front row seat.